Well, let me begin with a story of mine. I was in Goa a month back or so. My daughter was doing her internship there. And while she was hard at work, all I had to do was basically relax by the beach, sit on the deck chair by the poolside, and enjoy myself. Basically, that's all. So, when I was in the deck chair and lying down, what do I see above me? All of these coconuts in the palms hanging fresh and delectable, and I'm very fond of coconut water, and of course in the coastal areas it's fresh and it's sweet. And as I looked at it, a thought came to my mind, I should just pluck this one fresh one and just have it, you know. But then also the thought came, I'd need a long ladder for that. I'd need to leave the comfort of my deck chair in this heat, climb up that ladder, get over my fear of it's going to be a considerable height, and then I'll be able to pluck that coconut. Needless to say, I gave up that idea. I just ordered one with the waiter. But really, when we think about the truth, isn't it also like all of these coconuts hanging on the tree waiting to be plucked? But we need the means for that, we need the ladder for that. Do we have the interest, the inclination? Do we have the means to get that ladder? Leave the comforts and joys of the world, leave that deck chair in the heat, climb up, make that effort to pluck the truth. And truth is available right now, isn't it? We are constantly inundated with different spiritual paths, spiritual realizations of people all over the world. I mean, Insta, Snapchat, even I think, and Facebook, all of these millions of books, magazines, articles. It's literally like a mall with different shops of different spiritual paths giving techniques over the counter. Yet there are other malls also filled with lots of delights for the senses, lots of gadgets for comforts, for all of our needs to be taken care of, for our entertainment. So some of us, all of us here at least, have stepped out of those malls and come into that mall where the spiritual truths are being given. Yet even if we do come there, how many of us have been able to be guided rightly so that we don't just wander lost in that mall filled with so many paths? We need to be, otherwise, we don't go deep into any path. In the Vedic times, they say that the rishis, the gurus, would hide themselves on top of high mountain peaks, inside of dense forests, and the seeker who was serious about it would take weeks, months, maybe even years to reach a real guru. And once he reached the Guru, everything was not set. Here we come to Ananda, we know we'll eventually get Kriya in 9 months. But when the spiritual seeker reached that Guru, it was not sure. He had to create an interest in the Guru, maybe keep serving him for many months. Create that interest in the Guru that, yes, I am a sincere seeker. And then maybe the Guru would give him one technique and say, now go and practice this for months and years. And then he would come back after practicing that for many years, perhaps. If he's lucky, he did well, and the Guru would be happy and would give him another technique. Otherwise, he would send him right back. No, you need to perfect that. So, what was happening here? The sincere seeker was really tested. His one pointedness, the goal of God realization, the realization of truth, was tested. His perseverance, his determination was tested. And only then he was given the truth. Was it that the guru or the rishi just wanted to kind of hide his light and keep it within himself? No. As that reading says, it can really harm us if wrongly practiced. If we are misguided on the path, then it can harm us. We can be lifetimes in delusion, wandering in wrong practices, because these practices are very powerful. We all must have somewhere or the other, maybe Amar Chitra Kathas or the grandmas have told us these tales of the Asuras. So the Asuras would meditate for thousands of years. How? Where did they get that from? The practices from? They had a guru, Shukracharya. And what was his motivation? His motivation was not that the Asur should get God realization and become a spiritual seeker. And his Shukracharya had been slighted by the Devtas. His motive was, I want revenge from the Devtas. So get boons so we can overtake and we can overrun these Devtas. So, what is this guru, this inner wisdom in a way within us? If that is misguided, if it has the wrong intention and wrong motive, how did they end up, the asuras? Yeah, they had that willpower and energy to get boons from the gods. But what happened to them eventually? They created so much destruction, so much violence and misery in the world, and eventually they were destroyed. This story is there of one of the many asurs. uh, I think it's called Bhasmasur. Yeah, he's Bhasmasur, who got this boon from Shiva that whoever he touches on the head will burn to ashes. And what does this asur do? He promptly turns on Shiv himself and tries to touch him. And then Vishnuji has to come in his Mohini avatar, entice. Again, this demon, this asur is deluded. You can see that. He gets deluded by this avatar, and she says, you dance with me. And he starts dancing. And then Mohini touches her head here. You need to copy me. So he would copy her dance steps, and he kept his hand on his own head and burns himself to ashes. And that is the power of these spiritual practices. We see so many examples also. Judas also. A lot of people. Hitler, master said that he would wander in delusion now for 1,000 years for the destruction that he had caused. So they do not want to hide the truth from us. Anyway, nobody possibly can in this day and age hide it from us, but we can really be wrongly misguided. Many times we also wander around, and when we are deep in the path, we may get some powers, we may get some siddhis. Again, a certain amount of, that enticement of power comes in us. We've all read the autobiography of a yogi, where Yogananji talks about the perfume saint who can instill perfume in dried flowers and artificial flowers and any flower, I guess. And what does Yogananji say? He warns him that do not use your spiritual powers and practices to do this. There was a sannyasi who came to Ramakrishna Paramhans and very proudly declared to him, oh, I have worked 10-15 years and now I can walk on water. And Ramakrishna Paramhans says, really? With 2 annas, I can hire a boat which will take me across the river. So all you have spent in those 15 years is worth 2 annas. And that's what these powers are worth in front of truth realization, worthy of 2 annas. So we need to really work on ourselves, clear our motives and intentions. And when we do this self-effort, we have to have this inner preparedness, because we cannot even take the truth within us, right? Because when we try to invoke the presence of God, the flow of grace within us, sometimes our bodies are not ready for it. Master's advanced disciple, he could say that to Master. Dr. Lewis, he said, please give me samadhi, sir, please give me samadhi. And Master is like, left him for a few times. But when he persisted, he said, he looks at him piercingly and probably sends that power also to him, into his eyes, and says, can you take it if I give it to you? And Dr. Lewis backs off and he says, no, I cannot take it right now. So we need, with that inner preparedness, to be able to take in also this truth that we are looking for, this grace that we are looking from God. So how do we do that? We know step by step, we are on this path, we have so many techniques to prepare us. But what happens, I know, these days, a lot of self-help books, I have fallen prey to it also. A lot of videos, oh, just relax, don't take so much stress. What are you going to hurry to reach? Where do you want to reach? Just relax, get massage, chai with friends, do all of this. Things will happen. But then, one thing opened my eyes. There's this video going around by Shah Rukh Khan, if you may have seen it on Insta. He's like, yeah, you can relax and chill and enjoy yourself. But if you want success, then you need to really work hard at it. You can't sleep at night. You can't sleep late into the day. You have to run yourself ragged and create opportunities for yourself. And this is how you get success in anything that you do. And look at the lives of our masters. Were they just relaxing and chilling somewhere by the beach? No, they had lives of intense activity. And they are the ones who said the first step of meditation is relaxation. And I used to take that. No, but their lives were filled with intense activity. Barely slept for hours, making these communities, making centers, taking classes, finding money for the work to flourish. And what do we do? Oh, today I'm a little tired in the evening. Now, how do I relax into meditation? It's not going to happen. Let me wake up relaxed and fresh tomorrow morning, then I will meditate. But sure enough, we sleep tired, we wake up tired, and that meditation never happens. How much time do we have to spend on meditation? When we start, we literally say 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. As Kriyabans, maybe 1 hour in a day, at the most 2 hours in a day. How much do we really need to do in a 24-hour day? So let's get that goal orientation in our meditation practice and really work to prepare ourselves to receive this truth. And Master also gives us the right attitude for this sadhana to accept the truth. One day again in Autobiography of a Yogi, Paramhansa Yogananda said that when he was younger, he decided that I will only sleep now when I get the vision of Krishna. I will meditate till I get this vision. And his friend was with him. He said, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do it. And they sit down at night and they start meditating. So sure enough, the friend now is getting a little fidgety. It's 2 hours, 5 hours, it's nearly dawn. And he's like, Krishna is not going to come today. Let's try again tomorrow. So Master is like, no, you go if you want to. I am going to see Krishna today. And sure enough, he does that. He stays, meditates, sees Krishna and helps his friend also to see. So what is this? We need to keep our ego aside. Ego says, oh no, I'm this limited body, I need to sleep, I'm tired, next day, the whole day will go waste for me. It's like that. Whole day will go waste in sleepiness. I better go to sleep. So, but when we can see beyond this ego capacity that we have, the limitation that we have, when we can put aside our ego, then we can touch the divinity which is already within us to be able to create a pathway for that truth to flow into us. So, thank you, everyone.
If truth can be ordered like that tender coconut, our lives would be easy. But we need to prepare ourselves to receive God's consciousness, to receive the eternal truth. Because God doesn't want His omnipresence to be revealed to the public promiscuously. He says that the average human consciousness will not be able to absorb the liberating shock of omnipresence. So we need to prepare ourselves. And even before coming onto the path, we need to prepare ourselves to even step into the ashram or to start the spiritual search. One of the many benefits of serving full-time at Ananda is that we can meet a lot of devotees. And within Ananda, the favorite question we ask each other is, how did you find Master? Or how did Master find you? And quite a few of them have said that, the book Autobiography of Yogi, my mom gifted or my friend gifted to me when I was in school. And it was there for shelf for many years. And I read after 15 years, can you believe? And they were not ready. I mean, when we read The Rays of One Light, it might on the surface seem that Christ and Krishna are telling us to withhold or to not to share the techniques with others, and they establish a criteria. But Paramhansa Yogananda also says that God is even more eager for our liberation than we are for our liberation. So this is a classic example where Guru comes into a person's life, but the person takes few years to respond to that call. And if you can see, Christ gives, his example is different from Krishna's example because they are addressing to two different set of audience. Krishna is addressing to a set of people who are living in Dwapara, descending Dwapara age, and Christ is giving the same teaching in a different word, set of words, because he is addressing to the audience who are in the Kali Yuga. And depending on which yuga the person is, the human is, their consciousness is also accordingly more enabled or less enabled to receive the truth. If you want to know more about it, there's a class at 11:30. You can join the Yugas class, downstairs class drawing room. And how do we prepare ourselves? Through yoga and meditation. Paramhansa Yogananda, when he met the sleepless saint, he asked him, "Why don't you give me samadhi?" And the sleepless saint said that your body is not tuned yet. Just like a small lamp cannot withstand excessive electrical voltage, so your nerves are unready for the cosmic current. If I gave you the infinite ecstasy right now, you would burn as if every cell were on fire. So we need to prepare our body for the experience, for prepare our mind, our heart to receive God. And he also says that reading scriptures, reading the truths alone is not enough. In fact, Paramhansa Yogananda quotes a Persian proverb in Autobiography. He says, "Seek truth in meditation, not in moldy books. Look in the sky to find the moon, not in the pond." And when Lahiri Mahashaya meets Mahavatar Babaji and he gets initiated into Kriya, Mahavatar Babaji says that give Kriya only to those sincere seekers who are ready to renounce everything and to start to search the truth. But we should be eternally ever grateful to Lahiri Mahashaya, who interceded on our behalf, and he said to Mahavatar Babaji that why don't we give Kriya, relax the rigorous rules which has been in place all this while. And Mahavatar Babaji now gives only one condition to Lahiri Mahashaya. He says, give Kriya to all those who humbly seek for help. So humbleness, the clue here is humbleness is a very, very important quality to receive God. Or God loves those people who practice humility. And there is a story in Autobiography which reiterates this. I'll read. The scene was Kumbh Mela at Allahabad. Lahiri Mahashaya told his disciples that he has gone for a short vacation from his office duties to attend the Kumbh Mela. As I was wandering among the throng of monks and sadhus who had come from great distance to attend the holy festival, I noticed an ash-smeared ascetic who was holding a begging bowl. The thought arose in my mind that the man was hypocritical, wearing the outward symbols of renunciation without a corresponding inward grace. No sooner I had passed the ascetic, my astounded eye fell on Babaji. He was kneeling in front of a matted head anchorite. Guruji, I hastened to his side. Sir, what are you doing here? Babaji replied, I am washing the feet of this renunciate, and then I shall clean his cooking utensils. Babaji smiled at me like a child. I knew he was telling me that he does not want me to criticize anyone, but to see the Lord as residing equally in all body temples, whether of superior or inferior men. The great Guru added, by serving wise and ignorant sadhus, I am learning the greatest of virtues, pleasing to God above all others, humility. So, anytime if you find our ego in front line, it's a good story to remember. If Babaji can do that, we can also put our ego aside. And in that humility, in that humbleness, we will be able to see God in others and serve God in others, like the affirmation we did. And Krishna also shares that do not share these truths with me who does not serve others. So Swami Yukteswar ji says that everyone who breathes the free air of this earth is obligated to render grateful service. During our initial search, when we come on to the spiritual path, we always hope and expect that we are going to be peaceful, we are going to get a lot of blessings. So we step onto the path because we are going to receive a lot. We hope to get something from God. But Nayaswami Dev Rishi once shared a very nice story, an example about a bait and switch type of marketing. It is that it's very simple. Many of you might already know that. He said that there will be a car advertisement in the newspaper that this excellent car is available for sale at a very low rate, and you will think this is too good to be true, and if it is true, I would like to buy this car at this rate. So you drive down to the dealer, and when you go there, they would say, we just sold that car. But you can see there's another car here, and that would be quoted at much higher price. So initially, when I stepped into the spiritual path, I thought that I'm going to receive cosmic consciousness. I'm going to receive that peace, that divine love, which is true. But then slowly I started realizing it's not about what I'm going to receive, it's what I'm able to give, what I'm able to offer up with devotion to God and Gurus. And that can be practiced on day to day through seva. And as we see God's presence in others, and the more we serve, the more open we become and the more receptive we become to these eternal truths, to the blessings, and to God's light, love, and joy. And you can always ask every day, what am I giving to my Guru today? And if you really introspect, you will understand that we actually don't have much to give except our free will and our love. But a word of warning, the more you give, the more will be asked for. Be ready for that. But the sweetness lies there that the more we give, the more joyful we also feel. And it can be a very simple act of seva. It can be sharing Master's teaching, gifting an autobiography, coming here for the satsang. Satsang itself means fellowship of truth. So coming to a satsang is a good form of seva because you're adding your energy here and sharing, putting up posters, washing utensils, everything which we do here for the love of God, because we too want to offer. And this openness and this attitude which compounds within ourselves as service will help us to be receptive to truth. Thank you.